Good evening. This is Sweet Potato coming to you with Proverbs, chapter 14. We've made it. It's the 15th of May, a fabulous day to praise the Lord and immerse ourselves in His holy and righteous word, as is any moment of any day, but especially right now when we've got our Bibles wide open and our hearts wide open as well. In any case, let's do this. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. Right, that's the end of verse 4. We'll go ahead and start right there. Every wise woman buildeth her house. She builds her house so that she can protect against the storms of temptation. But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. The foolish woman tears down her own house, as well as whosever house she can get her hands on, because she doesn't care. She doesn't know what tempests are coming, nor is she going to be ready to prepare herself. She's going to be prepared to defend herself against them. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord. He that walketh in his upright, integral walk, that integral path that is set in place for him, the path of righteousness, path of saints, path of the living. He fears the Lord with all his heart. But he that is perverse, is froward, is the spirit, is abhorrent in his ways, is an abomination in his ways, despiseth the Lord. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride. Remember when violence was choking them? There it is once again. Their pride choketh them. That rod is going all the way down their throat, makes their words unable to be heard. But the lips of the wise shall preserve them. The lips of the wise shall preserve those rods. That way, they won't be able to stand. The prideful won't be able to spread their false doctrine, because the wise will be there to dispel those false witnesses. They'll be able to tell the truth and actually make people believe in what should be believed in. That rod's going to stay right there and clog up their windpipe, because their words will not stand. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, because the oxen aren't pooping. But much increases by the strength of the ox, because the ox will take care of the crib. The ox will defend it with their lives. The stronger they are, the better. That's meat. That's companionship, if you like to keep them as a pet. That's responsibility, because you have to feed them. And that's a pretty much absolute assurance that nothing is going to break into that crib. I saw an ox just staring at me from the inside of a fence as I was walking outside. I'd move farther away from it. I wouldn't think about getting closer. If that ox is staring me down as I'm nearing the fence, I'm not even on the other side yet. And you better believe I'm getting on the other side of whatever road I'm on. If I'm in a field, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Nope, not doing that. We don't do that here. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. Now we stopped at verse 10 there. Let's go ahead and start back at verse 5. A faithful witness will not lie, because he's faithful. He's trusting. That man is upright and honest. You can actually trust him. But a false witness, someone who was not there to begin with and did not see anything, will utter lies. It doesn't matter if he's fighting for the person or against the person who's being judged, because they weren't there. They don't know anything about it. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not. But knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. The foolish, if they seek wisdom, they're gonna receive some wisdom, but they're not going to be willing to accept it because they're foolish and won't perceive it as wisdom. But knowledge is easy to the man that understandeth, because if he has that understanding, then he can take in the knowledge that will grant him wisdom. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. He's talking to us, children of the Lord. When we perceive that somebody speaketh not knowledgeably, yeah, okay, that makes sense. When we know that what somebody is speaking is not legitimate, excuse me, I gotta get my thoughts together. Good gracious. Then we must go from the presence of them. There's no reason to stick around if we know someone's only going to utter lies to us. If we know that they're not actually educated in the word, then there's no reason to stick around. We should be on our way and immerse ourselves in the Lord and his teaching. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, because the prudent man is cautious. The prudent man is wise. The prudent man, by nature, is a very knowledgeable and reasonable man. He's respectful and he's respectable. So he wants to understand his way. He wants to be cautious and know what's going to be in his way before he goes anywhere. But the folly of fools is deceit. When fools make mistakes, they deceive others. When fools deceive others by not knowing their way and then bringing others into their bad situation, then that is their mistake. They're bringing more people down with them. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. Fools are quick to make fun of the scripture, as well as to go against it. They see that all the evil things that go on in this life as a joke. It's like a video game. Just like, Rising of Sword Hero. I just watched that for the second time. And, Motoyasu, that man literally nearly doomed an entire city. And he laughed at it. He didn't care. He thought, oh, it's just a video game, dude. There's no problem. Like, they don't care. Then you got Naofumi over here having to save their butts and use his shield to create more, to actually create fruit instead of monsters that want to kill the people. He's the wise man who preserveth the rod in the foolish's mouth. Because Motoyasu said that the seed was going to feed them, that it was going to save the people. And Naofumi shoved that rod down their mouth when he saved them from the vines that were literally doing their very best to destroy their city. He is the wise man. But Motoyasu laughed at it. That's what I'm trying to say. But among the righteous there is favor. Among the righteous there is favor. Like when Naofumi saved their town and all he took were seeds in repayment, he had favor. People knew him for his goodness. People loved him. And the same will happen to the wise man who walks in the way of the Lord. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. The heart knows what burdens that you placed on it unless you forget about them. Even if you do forget about them, your brain will not forget about them. Only your heart will. In any case, a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy, because a stranger has no business trying to put you down. You know your mistakes, okay? So don't let anybody try to do you dirty by trying to remind you of your mistakes. So, like, look at her over there looking all pretty. She knows she wore that. No, that's not a sin. She knows that she stole that little boy's balloon yesterday. She can't be proud after that. Nah, she stole that little boy's balloon. That's wrong. Then there's good old Rachel coming back with, well, excuse me, but I have walked down the path of repentance and gained my retribution for the pain that I've inflicted upon others. My heart has been changed. So, as repayment, I gave that little boy 14 balloons. And then the foolish, or the stranger, simply going to say, okay, Rachel, calm down. Jeez. Anyway, verse 11, the house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. You see this right here? This is in the Mosaic period. Mosaic? Yeah, Mosaic. Also called the Jewish period. See, the patriotic period of the Bible was when they used temples. And this, they used tabernacles and they used synagogues. Wait, no, they haven't gotten to temples yet. They use temples here as well, but not in this case. They use the tabernacles to send praise to the Lord. So in the tabernacle of the upright man who used it for good, it will flourish. But the house of the wicked shall be overthrown by the tempest, because it's not based on a sound foundation. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Because a man's mind is not the Lord's mind, unless it is anchored, unless it is set on the Lord. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. But in the end thereof are the ways of death. If you think with a man's mind, the carnal mind, and you think, oh, this is just fine, there's nothing wrong with this, then the end result will be death. Nothing more, nothing less. Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. See, when you go down into the house of the wicked, and then you absorb the teachings of men, you're going to be surrounded by those who are only going to send you further and further down the path of evil. And because the heart knoweth its own bitterness, you're eventually going to start feeling guilty for all the things that you've done. And that heart will be sorrowful, even though you on the outside are putting on a mask and laughing at the mistakes that you've made in your life. I don't even know why I'm saying you. I hope you don't do this. Don't do this. Don't you dare walk in that house. Wipe your shoes off. Walk away from that house. Go to Nineveh. And at the end of that mirth, at the end of all of that merriment, all of that fun, all of those riches, your heart's going to be heavy laden. You're going to be burdened. You're going to be crippled. You're going to need somebody to lift you up. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The backslider in heart, the one who backslides or retreats from the word of the Lord, shall be filled with his own ways. He'll be filled with the ways of the man, of the wicked, because he'll be scooting back and away from the words of the Lord. A good man shall be satisfied from himself, because the way, the word, and the will of the Lord are within him, so he will be more than satisfied. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent crud. Oh, come on, Jamil. It's not even nighttime yet. Has it really been that long of a day? It hasn't been. I'm going crazy. Or maybe I just feel like yawning. How many times have I seen someone yawn today? Yeah, there we go. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. See that? The prudent man is cautious. He is perceptive. He wants to know exactly what he's going to be facing before he faces it, so he can take that time to prepare. He's ready. The prudent man is always ready. But the simple don't care. If they ask, hey, what's going to be on this path, man? It doesn't matter who he talks to. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't even matter if the person who they're talking to has been on the path or not. It can be some stranger who'll say, well, I don't know. I've heard that there might be a goat there. Maybe some trees. Maybe a lake. And the simple man, he's like, goats, trees, streams. Well, yeah, but the water is blood. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, thank you very much. I'm gonna go get some goats. Then the prudent man, he will do his research. He will find the path with the sheep on the other end, with that clean water, and with the fruit of righteousness that he sowed. And he'll go up there. He'll know his obstacles. He'll know his way. He'll find what he's been looking for. That holy and righteous reward. The wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. Wise man fears the Lord and departs from evil, but the fool is rageful. He's wrathful. He seeks to hurt others, and is confident, and he's confident in himself, because he's got to be confident, or else he can't swindle others into being dragged down to death with him. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. Because you can be angry and not sin, but if you just keep getting angry all over and over and over again, then eventually one day you're going to forget to restrain yourself. And you might end up doing something that you do not want to, okay? Or saying something that shouldn't have been said. And a man of wicked devices is hated. So if your devices are wicked, if you're naturally a wrathful person, and just someone who is malevolent in general, then you're going to be hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The simple inherit folly. They inherit mistakes, because they're always going after mischief. If you seek mischief, you're going to find mischief, and that's exactly what you're going to be bred into. That's what you're going to be used to. They're inheriting these mistakes from other wicked men because they believe every word. The wicked are trying to lead them down the wrong path. They're trying to say, this path over here, it is bathed with milk and honey and sunlight, my boy. Yes, definitely go down this path. I'll join you. How about that? But it'll only lead to more mischief and folly. That's the only end goal. That is the only possible end. But the prudent are crowned with knowledge, because they will know everything. Everything. The prudent men, they're the ones you gotta look for. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The evil bow will be aimed at the good. That's why the Lord's our rock, our sword and shield. He'll protect us from those bows of evil. He'll give us the trials that we need so we may grow in our strength. We may don that Christian armor and be ready to battle against the guiles of the devil. You know what I mean? and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The wicked will be at the gates waiting to be let in, but they're not going to be let in because they don't deserve to be let in because they weren't trying to get there in the first place. They're only there to cause trouble. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth, but he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. In the fear of the Lord is a strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causeth shame. All right, back to verse 20. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, because the neighbor sees them as lazy or unfortunate, or someone who might sow awful seeds into their children. But the rich have many friends, because the rich knows how to give that money. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth. Those people who despise the poor, his neighbors, are sinning. But he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Who has mercy on him, who comes to him in his time of need, who feeds and gives drink to, visiting in their sickness, in their imprisonment, when they are sad, giving them clothes when they're naked. See, that man, he is happy because he has the gratitude of the Lord. Do they not err that devise evil? What the heck was that? I know it's air, but I like to say like myrrh, but Well, to err is simply to be in folly, to do wrong. Do they not err that despise evil? The answer is yes, they do. They fail who despise evil. They fail at life, but mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good, because the Lord will grant it to us as recompense for our labor. Those are those fruits that we need so helplessly. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. Good gracious. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips leadeth only to penury. See, talking of the lips, persuasion will only lead to physical treasures. But in all labor there's profit. So if it's physical labor, you'll get physical profit. If it's spiritual labor, you get spiritual profit. And if it's mental labor, you'll get that mental profit. But the talk of the lips only leads to penury, nothing more. You can't get any spiritual or mental knowledge out of that. You can only get money. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. The crown of the wise is their riches to those who talk of the lips. To those who do not talk of the lips. The crown of the wise is their riches of the Lord. But the foolishness of fools is folly. Their deceit their mistakes, their wrongdoing, is their foolishness. That's the thing that's going to overthrow their house. That's going to bring them down. That's going to anchor them down on the path of death and leave them in Hades to rot. A true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. A true witness delivers souls by giving that integrity. It does not matter what has taken place. The truth must be heard, for that will ease the minds of those who need to know. Who need to know just what happened. But a deceitful witness speaketh lies. And this time it's actually a real witness. I want you to notice that. In verse 25, this is not a false witness, it's just a deceitful one who wants to deceive, who wants to trick people. But he was actually there. He's just lying, even though he knows exactly what happened. And the fear of the Lord is a strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. In the fear of the Lord, the strong confidence, that strong foothold, that castle. His children shall have a place of refuge from the storms. Yep. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Good gracious. I don't even know where that one came from. Was that a burp? Probably not. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life. It cascades blessings upon us. And it allows us to depart from the snares of death. Those traps, remember? They're coming back. That big old bear trap just sitting in the middle of your path of life. Right? Waiting to chop your right leg off. Or left leg, depending on just what side of it you're on. It's just waiting there. It's just waiting there to take that leg off. But with the fear of the Lord, you won't have to worry about it. You'll be able to use that fountain of life to cascade right on past that little trap. And by that time, you'll be prudent, so you can just see it and walk around it. Easy peasy. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. In the multitude of people is the king's honor. The biggest crowd that he can get, that is his pride. He wants to be influential to all these people. But the want of the people is the destruction of the prince. Because the destruction of the prince means that there's nobody left in line after that king. So they can battle over who gets to go and be the new king. All they want is money. The king is wise. The king is the wise man in the situation. He only wants to influence people and give them the word so he can have that honor. But the people, all they want is evil and violence, and that chokes them. That's why they don't have that power, because they don't deserve it. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, because they can keep from getting mad for long enough to actually learn what they need to learn, to take that instruction, to gain that knowledge, But he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. He that is quick to become mad, who is hasty and hot-headed, will exalt folly. He will not just invoke folly, he will exalt it. He will make it feel like it's on the top of the world. He'll compliment it to the end of his days. And he'll make other people want to do it too. That's how charismatic that man is. That man that's hasty of spirit. People listen to him because he's loud, not because he's right. And in the case, the sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy, the rottenness of bones. The sound heart is the life of the flesh. That sound, reasonable, wise heart is the life of the flesh, because it'll cascade those good blessings. But as well as, blood throughout the body. But envy, Envy is the rottenness of the bones, because it rots the body from the inside. It burns through you, the evil, that wickedness that shackles you downwards. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoureth him hath mercy on the poor. He that reproaches the poor, that sends them away, that despises the poor, reproacheth his master. Oh, oppresses the poor. That's even worse. He reproaches his master. He makes his master sad. That's so sad. But he that honoureth his master hath mercy on the poor, because the poor are his children as well. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness. He's inside of a carriage, being pulled by the horses, by skeleton horses that are on fire. That's what the wicked. That's what's happening to the wicked right now. It sounds cool, but they're going down the path of death. So it only goes downhill from there. The righteous hath hope in his death, because after his death he will be able to be exalted. He'll be able to receive that blessing that's waiting for him. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding. Straightforward. But that which is in the midst of fools is made known, because fools always make themselves known as fools. By making and exalting that folly to the eyes of every man. The king's favor. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Righteousness will elate a nation. It'll make a nation known. People will be known for being righteous. A nation will be known for their kindness, for their love for others. But sin is an affront to anybody. Wouldn't be so infamous, The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causeth shame. Against him that causeth shame, that man that oppresses the poor and reproaches his master. That's where the king's wrath is against him, because he reproaches his master. And the king's favor is toward a wise servant, because that wise servant will give him life. And that is Proverbs 14. Sorry for the interruption right there. But that's just life, It's not a problem. It's just life. And life is beautiful. In any case, that is that. Another beautiful devotion. Do you look white? So, let us pray. Our holy and righteous Father in heaven, we come to your heavenly throne this day. Thank you so much for the wonderful and blessed day. But thank you so much for all the wonderful blessings and opportunities you've given us throughout our life. And we pray that you may bless this lesson, that it may be steadfast in our hearts. That we may not enter into the house of the wicked, but that we may live on the path of righteousness. That we may be able to bring honor and glory unto our Master, which is you, and that we may continue on the path of righteousness unto the very end. Pray that in all things we may walk in a way that is favorable to you, and be your holy and righteous disciples until the very end. Pray that may bless this night and all of its endeavors, and we pray this in your holy Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. And that's that. In any case, thank you guys for coming, and this potato is out.